Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crate Expectations. I'm here with my co host, full of lies, Sarah. How are you today? Full of lies, Sarah.
I'm deceitful. How are you?
I don't know if I believe that or not.
You'll never know.
I do know, in fact. But what I also know is that CG is also deceitful, so we could talk about that today.
Yeah, maybe they're full of lies.
Yeah, I mean, what are they doing, man? They're messing around. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. What do you what are we talking about today, Sarah?
Um,
Approximately.
like not their lies, you mean, or other stuff?
I mean, lies included.
Lies
Just
included. We have a little bit of raid information,
okay.
a little bit, decent amount. Um, so there's that. We got that new Duel of the Fates assault battle, and there might be a puzzle.
All right. You really sold it very poorly. So,
Oh,
uh,
oh, also there's no road ahead.
are you sure you want to check?
You know what? People can choose whether or not to believe me. I am deceitful.
What do
We're,
you have? What do you have against seats? If you're deceitful,
that they're empty.
very well.
Mm.
So CG is they faked us out. They were like, "Hey, there's a Relic 9 tier and you get a new reward tier and
Hmm.
it's going to be great."
Right. And then they did keep the Relic 9 tier. They just got rid of the new reward tier.
Why?
I have no idea. And this seems like a really weird thing to change within a matter of days.
Do you think maybe it's because I made a video about Relic 10?
That's definitely it. They're like, oh
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
I mean, I could honestly see it. No, not honestly, but I could deceitfully see it being that I'm not. It's like the Half-Life 3 game. Every time someone says it's something about Half-Life 3,
Hmm.
or like asks when it's released, then it gets pushed back another 3 months.
Man,
I don't know if you've heard about that, but that's the thing.
I believe it. I would be annoyed. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know. This feels weird. I t So, okay, so here's my question for you. We don't know what the scoring system is per like the tiers, like the for Relic 1 versus Relic 9, etc. I'm assuming it would be like the crate raid. Um, which I would also assume based off of that relic, the Relic 9 tier, since it is a new higher tier, would be a higher score that was so higher than 2.7 million or whatever the maximum was at crate. I can't remember. Um, but if the reward tiers are the same, what is the incentive to take your characters to Relic 9?
I mean, I guess the one nice thing would be you could have your guildmates carry you in a
So
way.
so then the incentive for you to be carried is not to go to Relic 9 because you would like to be carried.
I mean, there also might, yeah. I mean, so there is that. I'm saying like that might be like a fringe benefit. I also think that there's the chance that what if you could hyper develop one team and instead of developing like five total teams, you could just do four or something and get
Right.
the same approximate value because going from the top tier like the level 7 that already exists, I think it's
Hmm.
7, isn't it?
Yeah, it's level
Like the
7.
highest, like the drop from 27 or 2.7 million
Hmm.
to 1.8 is a pretty steep drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would think that it would be even bigger jumping from Relic 8 to the Relic 9 requirement tier.
Right. So you would like potentially go from 2.7 to say, I don't know, 3.8
Something like that, yeah.
for argument's sake. Um, what about if so because this is the other thing that I'm thinking with this raid, because I've seen a lot of people say this as well, is we're going back to 5 attempts, so theoretically less time invested because 5 attempts versus 8 checks out math wise. However, they did say that the droid battle commander, whatever his name is, that is at the start of each wave of these endless droids is going to be completely RNG randomized of which one it is that we fight, which I'm assuming would have an effect on what your strategy is going to be for the wave. Um, so if you get really crap RNG, are you just going to have to restart your attempts over and over and over again? And then be sinking in a ton of time, even though you're only doing 5 attempts. So,
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of that.
yeah. So, is the incentive now if you can go to Relic 9 and hit auto or just take a bad RNG run because it doesn't matter, the difference in the score is so much better that you're still getting whatever your goal is. Maybe that's the I don't know.
So my biggest issue with this is there's not much option for many people to go Relic 9 for a full 5-man squad. Not of the ones that they've listed. Like
Right.
all even the crazy big accounts. Like my account's pretty big at 13.3 at my main account. I face these guys consistently who are over 14 million.
Hmm.
And even those guys don't like they have a lot of Relic 9s. Like not even all the squads they use, not even all the really good squads with the really good characters have all Relic 9s. Like yes, there's a few people who have all the Relic 9s.
Hmm.
But not that many are willing. And for the most part, most people are just like, no, I'm not gonna spend money on that. Go screw yourself, CG. And so, giving us a tier of Relic 9 on the raid, to me, that's why I made the video on Relic 10. Like, how did they expect us to even contemplate doing
Right.
anything Relic 9? If like my main account's not gonna be able to do that, like it's just I can't keep up.
Hmm.
It's completely ridiculous, and I don't know. I mean, they can do it, I guess. It just seems why do we want guns at Relic 9? Like that just seems horrible.
Yeah. Well, even like Pico was working on his like roster project was to take everything to Relic 8 or Relic 9, and he was going to start with taking all of the tanks to 9 first because that, logic. And he had to pivot because he's like, I can't do it like feasibly, like with the time limit he had given himself with this like challenge.
Hmm.
He's like, I can't do it. It's just not feasible.
Yeah, no, I mean, all the droid brains,
Yeah.
like there's just a restriction to it, even if you want to spend all the money. Yeah, so I don't really know what they could, and so it makes me think they probably backed off of that because a little bit,
Hmm.
or like maybe they're just not quite ready to give Relic 10 out or something. I don't know. I want to know what their plan is because clearly that this has suddenly been a lot of Relic 9
Hmm.
requirements. It's like, okay, the raid required at Relic 9. Now there's like a whole tier extra. And then the Qui-Gon Obi-Wan
Yeah.
event, also Relic 9 required. And whereas, yes, we've had territory battles like the Rise of the Empire thing, it's pretty easy to just ignore phases 5 and 6 for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. Tons of guilds ignore it. I think the majority of the guilds ignore it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think they should. Like, screw you, CG. But, like, make it cheaper, make it more accessible. And they have to. They have to find a way to do that. And so, if they're requiring all this stuff, how much time and effort are they putting into developing things that only, like, 7 people can actually do?
Well, that's why I was wondering because when they first said that they were having this new tier with Relic 9 being the requirement, and then there was going to be a new max reward, max crate reward, whatever you want to call it, for the raid, I was like, maybe they put Relic 9 materials in that max crate as like the incentive for going, or like the top two crates as the incentive for going to Relic 9 free rosters, and then they are adding it somewhere else, making it more available, like all that kind of stuff. And that clearly was not the case. So I don't know.
No. Maybe they watched my video and they realized, oh crap, we really should be putting Relic 10 or Relic 9 materials in with the raid requirements.
Do you also think, because they did release that audio uh waveform, which a ton of people could not play, so then they ended up transcribing it and releasing it as a text post, but essentially hinting that the raid was going to drop July 2nd, which is a Tuesday, which is weird because normally these patch updates come on Wednesdays. So,
Oh, I mean, it's also right before, I mean, pretty close to an American holiday. I mean,
and a
obviously it's
Canadian
not.
one.
Yeah, Canadian one is really important. So,
Just saying.
the point I was making, I'm not. I mean, I'm sure your holiday is less important than ours, but the
It's
real point I
basically
was
the
making,
same holiday.
oh, the
Go
real,
on.
yeah, it's the same but less, you know. But sorry, I'm sorry,
Uh,
is
Go
what I
on.
should be feeling, but I'm not.
Because you're
So
not Canadian.
I just, yeah,
Carry
I
on.
I would say sorry, or I'd pronounce it weird. So let's move right on past this. And are you okay?
British bastardization.
I it wasn't anything. It was just me trying to piss you off.
Okay, moving on.
I'm sure. I'm sure it.
Uh,
It probably sounded dumb, but I guess it worked. So,
Carrying on.
gosh, I wish you'd been drinking something. We could have had two spit takes in a row.
Ah,
Uh,
man. Okay. Whew. Um,
the thing I'm really like, I don't really care that about holidays in general. It just in terms of like, in terms of how it affects Galaxy of Heroes, but I don't think they have an office in Toronto. Is my guess. All right,
they do
like
not, that I
they're
know
not
of.
they're not like, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm struggling to say it even like normal now.
Um, it's
But
just
you know,
weird.
no, it is weird. Tuesday is a weird day for it. Unless they know that, I mean, it's gonna have to have all of this stuff populate. Oh, over like it's gonna be a. It's good. Maybe they've already submitted all their data and now they've discovered, okay, like that's when they can force update everyone. Is Tuesday.
Do you think that they will remember to load the Android assets this time?
I'm not here for your snark, Sarah.
Yes, you are.
I'm not I'm not entirely here for your snark, Sarah.
Um, I just feel like doing this during a holiday week is a bad idea. And should we be
I know.
surprised?
There's two holidays that week.
There's two holidays that week. It's it's a duel of holidays.
Let's call it 1.5 holidays. Just
So this feels like a bad idea. And I don't think any of us can be surprised because it's not the first time they've done this. So,
no,
yay.
I just want to know what went on. Like, we don't even know all the information. Eventually, we'll maybe be able to backwards like construct like, oh, okay, like they had this going on. But most likely, we'll just never know. Why did he say, "Hey, there's new reward box," and now they're take away the reward box? Like, I just want to know what like there was something planned there for sure. There was for sure something there, and
Mhm.
then they had to have a conversation saying, for some reason, let's take that away.
Right.
And it's honestly, it's fine. And actually, like, they never promised anything. They've been very careful to be like, this is all, subject to change. I'm good with them changing it.
Hmm.
I just want to know what it was. Like, what did we miss out on? Or maybe it's something that's like, oh, I'm glad they didn't add that, actually. That would have been really bad for the game somehow.
Right. Yeah. And like, so I just double checked. So it was 10 days in between them saying that we would have a new reward box and taking it away. So a decent amount of time, but also like, what happened?
I want to know.
I want to know too.
Yeah. So I also want to know they also let me hold on. I'm gonna pause it for a sec so I can pull up the graphics so people can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
One second. Okay, so here it is. There's a post by Crumb in the events server, Discord server. Not by Crumb. I'm sorry, by Meatface.
Hmm.
And I mean, most people here who watch this are gonna remember that Crumb used to do these really cool community puzzles that everyone would have to solve, and then eventually that would be like the new thing that they were releasing,
Yeah.
the new awesome thing.
What was the last puzzle? Do you remember? Who was it for?
I was
Afra?
it Afra? Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. Was maybe Afra and Hondo and all of them. Yeah,
Right.
they released. They were like, "Hey, look, Hondo is coming out," and we were like, "Oh, cool. We're gonna Afra's gonna be neutral too." And then she,
They're like, nah.
no one ever was neutral after that. Just Hondo. He stands alone.
Uh,
Yeah, yay.
yay. Good old Hondo.
So,
Um, so he posted this in the clues thing.
yeah, yeah. Like this, it's explicitly meant for puzzles, which they haven't done a puzzle. Like I think they skipped last year for puzzles. I don't think they did one.
No, because it would have been if it was Afra.
Yeah, Afro was released like December of 22.
Yeah, so it's been a year and a half since the puzzle. Maybe almost maybe longer than that. Because I guess the puzzle would have been before Hondo came out, and he would have come out in September or October.
Right.
So it's probably pushing 2 years.
Yeah, I want to know if he's trolling us.
Do you think it's a clock because we're all kind of like TikTok, give us a road ahead,
Maybe.
and he is trolling us?
I don't know. So the time on it is 11:07. I don't know what that means though.
Would that mean anything though? Because everyone's in a different time zone.
Yeah, well, I wonder if you say 7/11, that's
Okay.
July 11th,
Oh,
maybe.
I was thinking 7-Eleven, like the convenience store. Go get a slushie. No? Okay. No.
So,
Got it.
anyways, no, um, I just want to know. I want to know what this is, and it's not that. I don't think. I want to know what it actually is, though.
I mean, maybe we get it like so we're recording this went or Thursday night and he posted this on Thursday. So maybe the puzzle starts Friday going into the weekend.
Could be.
Whatever the puzzle is leading to.
I want to see what 7/11 is. It's on a Thursday. I don't know. I just is the raid really going to be here on Tuesday?
That's what I don't know. It feels weird on a Tuesday. I can't get past the fact that it's a Tuesday and they usually do their updates on Wednesdays, which like yeah, they could do it a day earlier, but just feels weird. This whole year has been weird. 2024 has been a weird year with CG.
It's been pretty weird. They're just trying new things,
I
trying to
I
find a way to make us spend money.
I honestly think that they're also just trying to like break away from I don't want to call it like a structure or a pattern of what we can expect, but it feels like that's what's happening.
Oh yeah, they don't want to be predictable. I think that's for sure. I want to know. It seems like we're kind of at the end of a lot of the thing. Like we're. I realized we could get. They could make like the next Galactic Legend could be like Yoda, or something, or just Prime Darth Vader, or they could do that. But it just seems like we don't have any right now, unless we kind of think out of the box. Like there's not any new Galactic Legends available. There's also a very diminishing number of characters that aren't required
Mm-hmm.
for something that you need at high relics already. Like I'm sure they could conceive to do that to some degree, but for the most part, like most of the factions are heavily represented already, and you already have. It's like when I was looking at all of the different characters that are going to be in this new raid,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, tons of them are safe at Relic 8 and Relic 7 to
Yeah,
get them up because they're already required in all these other things.
absolutely. And I remember I was looking at that too and thinking, not even that it was safe, but I was like, this is actually a decent list of characters because a lot of these characters people already have at those relic levels. Or like
Yeah.
you're saying, it's safe to do it anyway because you're gonna want them since they're required.
Yeah, like maybe you wouldn't just naturally go take Plo Koon up to Relic 8 or something. He's not Relic, but I mean, he's really good at Relic 8. Anyways, like there's a lot of characters like Mace, you could take him to 9 and not regret it. Like a lot
Right.
of characters like that, and then like you say, like tons of requirement characters. So I just well that's another reason I feel like maybe we could get Relic 10 is because that would open an avenue for them to be like, oh, hey, look, here's. Yes, you have those characters relic, but do you have them relic 10?
Where do they put the rewards for Relic 10 if they were to do that?
Like, where do you get the materials, you mean?
Yeah. Do you think they would just add a slot to the raid store and we would just have to like solely buy it?
I mean, if you really think, like, the way they've done it in the past is just always one game mode has half of the pieces, and
Hmm.
then you can buy the other piece. Like, it's farmable by, spending an asinine amount of gear or whatever. Like, that's what they've done in the past, and I know that they're trying to not be that predictable. To me, that seems like, why wouldn't they do it that way? Like, we've needed territory wars to be revamped for a long time,
Hmm.
and that's where droid brains are anyways right now.
Yep.
Like, by if they keep adding droid brains to other places like that Kenobi Qui-Gon Duel of the Fates mission, they're gonna start. I mean, not that territory wars is like this really lucrative, awesome thing, anyways. Like participate, but it's not the highest level of rewards. Is all I'm saying.
Hmm.
Like they're already like the one thing that is really nice that you get from territory wars is
Droid brains.
droid brains, and now they're you can find them elsewhere. Like they have to have a plan for territory wars somewhere, don't they? I mean, they don't have to, but it seems CG seldom does things that's just completely boneheaded. I know that people really love to represent them as being just a complete morons, but they found a way to milk us for so much money.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I
I
just
mean,
I just don't know where else you put it other than in a store. I, I can't see I mean, I can see them doing this, but I can't see them making if they Relic 10 was a thing, making both halves available solely for raid purchase.
right. I mean, I guess the one potential thing that the thing I was like, Mark IV currency that you can only get in this top crate that doesn't exist anymore. Like,
And they just
maybe.
took it away because now they realized people would riot if you could only get it in the top crate.
Right, or they watched my video and didn't want me to be right. I know.
Or that.
People are gonna be like, dude, Zareth is taking himself way too seriously. It's more that I'm taking Canada not at all seriously, but
What else is new?
I know we Americans in our school system are educated to recognize the. No, I don't know what I'm saying. Um, I just know the CG is being really confusing right now and really
Hmm.
confounding, and also this. So I think I said this last time, but I've said it a couple other places. I usually CG usually finds a way to make me want to spend money in a month. They
Right.
usually are like, "Hey, here's the best way to spend $300," and I'm like, "Oh, as a spender, that's fairly compelling." You know,
Right. Like, yeah,
maybe
I agree.
maybe I bite, maybe I don't, but it is usually like, yeah, I would like that. That seems nice. Like that's the right price point for me typically.
Hmm.
This month they have not done that, and I've been looking for an opportunity to have another free month, other than just the conquest passes,
Hmm.
and so far that's what I've done. We'll look at some of the packs that I think I'm gonna bend a little bit in
Right.
that. So I didn't go into the month saying I'm for sure going free to play, free to play minus the conquest pass. But I did go into the month hoping I wouldn't have to spend it. There's nothing compelling this month. This month is all about everyone else catching up, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, there really hasn't been anything crazy compelling other than, like you said, we'll talk about pack. But
Let me ask you this: how are your lover boy farms? Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, for the people who don't know who the lover boys are.
they're okay. They are almost 6 star, I think. I need to double check. The added drops were good. I haven't bought any of their shards from the store yet. Yeah. Qui-Gon is 54 out of 85 and Obi-Wan's 50 out of 85. So they're decent.
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not going to be farmable, if the raid's dropping on Tuesday, they're not going to be farmable in time for me to worry about the raid.
Right. And I'm like, the funny thing is, I have those two Relic 9, and I don't have anyone to go with them. Like, I don't even have Queen Amidala is still Relic 7. Like, she'll be my next 8, I guess, because
Mhm.
I may as well try to have her keep up. But then, who's going to be the next best characters with them? It's all a very confusing time. I think we're going to get a lot of news here pretty soon, and we've already got quite a bit. In fact, the big
Mhm.
list of raid characters. I think there's 8 dark side. Like, okay,
Yeah. It's a
interesting, I guess.
yeah, it's very lopsided.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then do you just pick the 5 best dark side and make one dark side team, or are we gonna see like a mixed team sort of come out? I don't think we do. I think it's just the 5 best.
Well, yeah, like what dark side would go with the currently selected light side?
I know, that's what I'm like. I'm looking at it. I'm like, there's nothing really that would gel somehow.
Yeah, Droidica's like, so there I was, chilling with some Jedi Masters. Like, okay. You know? What are did you buy the $20 pack, by the way, the Lightspeed bundle for the Jedi
Jedi.
Masters? Yeah, the council.
I had it gifted.
What? No one's ever gifted me anything. I'm gonna riot. That's total bull.
I'll gift you something, but you're not in my guild.
I am in your guild.
Technically.
Technically, I am in your guild.
You want me to gift something to Professor X? That
Have I
seems
have I been booted from the guild, and this is your way of telling me like they're gonna
I
kick me out? You're like, technically
I
you're still in there, but
I gift Professor X with my time.
okay, okay. With that, let's
Uh,
talk about the trigger photo, and we'll go to Sarah's.
I wish I had screenshot my gifts so I could use that as a trigger photo for you.
I'm so disappointed with all of my guildmates in all of my guilds. Yeah, you know what my one of my favorite, I don't know if it's a meme or whatever, but it's this it's a picture of someone probably just made up in the year in like a yearbook that said when I die I want my my class group mates to lower me into the ground, into the, lower my casket so they can let me down one more time.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
that's what this feels
That's
like
what.
right now. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh man. I know. All 147 of them. So, I have 3 guilds and three of the people in each of those guilds is me. So,
Right. That was quick math. I was like, which one of your guilds only has 47 people in it?
it's literally 150 minus 3. But so, all right, speaking of confusing numbers here.
Uh,
How is so Calvin posted this. He said if
yeah.
this is triggering him, I don't know if this is his photo or if it's someone else's, but
I hope it's someone else's.
I don't really understand this. Like
How does this happen?
mine aren't lopsided like this.
That's what she said.
I know that's I was about to say, oh, I think I set that one up really nicely.
But like, how does this happen?
No one knows. Magic.
Like mine aren't even like this.
Oh. So,
On that
let's
note.
move on to Sarah's channel, folks. That's what she said.
Uh,
So, moving on to Sarah's channel. Please like and subscribe. There should be a link in the video description or a link below one of our faces. Like, subscribe, comment, and stuff on both of our channels. And we'll see you over on the less serious side,
yeah. Yikes.
if there is such a thing.